Good evening, everybody, and we're going to have a it's a very quick start to this. No proper introductions other than the incredible LCR Leopard is alongside me again this evening for round 5 of LCR. Not LCR, that's in your name.
I wish.
WOR.
I wish.
But round 4 was completed last week, and look at that. The standings are so tight. But let's go to the qualifying because it's out on track, and all of a sudden it's raining in Silverstone in the United Kingdom. Who'd have thought it? There's a couple of drivers on soft tyres for some unknown reason. But 15 minutes. I'm going to go through some. I'll let you talk in a minute, Leopard. But I've got some crazy stats from the Xbox and the console side of things. No champion has ever won at Silverstone while Silverstone their championship year. So back in season 6, Leopard champion yourself, you finished 4th.
Yes, I'm trying to remember what I did that race. In fact, I might be able to let you know what I did in that race if you give me a few minutes. But
well, I can go down the rest of the list for it.
Go ahead.
In season 7, Pinecone was the champion, and CRG Lut was victory at Silverstone, and Leopard, you finished 4th again there. In season 8,
what happened there?
Go on, do tell while we're on the track.
Basically, I got caught up in a turn 1 melee. I think I tried to make it like I think we're like 3 wide into 1, and I was just the unlucky victim, and yeah, that I had to recover it from there. I managed pretty well, I'd say, but yeah, not a great start to that one.
No, unfortunately not. And then when Pinecone won Silverstone in season 8, it was Lut that was the champion. And then season 10 and 9, Lut was a champion. So Lut, technically, on the Xbox and crossplay side of things, is the most successful Silverstone driver in the races we've had at Silverstone. In season 11, Thomas Runhar's championship year, absolutely incredible. It was Tom Manley that took victory at Silverstone. PSR Square in season 12 took victory at Silverstone, but was not the champion. Both of those 2 seasons, I believe you did not start the race, even though you were in the calendar, or on the calendar, or on the grid, I should say.
Yeah, I was a bit hit and miss towards the back end in those days.
Season 13,
really
your last season.
Yes.
Axe F1 took victory, and you finished 9th. So you did get points on your last outing at Silverstone.
Get in.
Season 14, it was Skies that took the race victory, but I believe it was Smokey that was the champion. Liam Bowman. Liam Bowman took the victory in season 16. I've just seen Joseph's message in the chat. That's why I started laughing. But Liam Bowman was the race victory, but he was not the champion in season 6. And that was the last time we raced at Silverstone. Some incredible little bit of stats there. But I really think if you take victory here halfway through the season, even as close as it is through the season that we've got here in WR, it possibly is a bad omen.
So basically what we're saying here is whoever wins this Grand Prix is doomed, no matter what happens.
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. We'll see. Or maybe they'll break the curse. Who knows? Who knows? I need to try and get Quantum back in the session. It's all a bit last minute, but hey, I think we're doing a good job so far. Quantum's back in. We've got just under 12 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, and well, it's Joe Murphy who currently tops the timing screens by, goodness me, it's quite a gap, isn't it? What is the gap? Well, there you go, 0.4 of a second. Is the gap at the top of the timing screens between the 2 championship leaders. They're level on points. Ren Thomason currently claims top of the standings by way of his race win in Kota a couple rounds ago. And then we have Tier 2 champion, Tech Brutal, on a 35-4 a little bit further back. So, currently, the 2 championship leaders on the front row at the moment, and with a little bit of a margin, especially Joe Murphy, out in provisional pole position at this moment in time.
Yeah, well, it was interesting to see. Obviously, unfortunately, issues for me with work last week meant I wasn't able to commentate. You had the incredible Jota with you, but Las Vegas, obviously, difficult track, and I was expecting some special Cameron Dowds news that he's extended the championship lead, but that's not the case. He didn't pick up any points last time.
No. Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I remember saying. I mean, I've said it all season, and I might refer. To be honest, Cameron down in chat might just get fed up of me saying this, just referring to that Coaster race. But that, you know, this non-score was completely different. Just the game, you know, game issues on his end. You know, I think he disconnected and couldn't get back in the car, and you know that was that. You know, no fault of his own on this occasion. You know, so again, it's a non-score, but on the brighter side, he's still only 6 points off the top of the standings. He can easily make that up. In fact, well, literally, if he wins tonight, he will be our championship leader. So, still very much within the hunt is Cameron Downs. It's far from season over when you look at the standings as of this moment. He's just got to mentally reset once again, just like he did after Kota and won Singapore. He'll have to do it once again here in Silverstone. And, you know, if he does that, he'll be putting himself right back into contention. Tech Brutal on to provisional pole position, 1 minute 34.7. I think the track's ramping up.
Now, and Alpha Gully and Volakongan did just before those times coming in as Renz Thomason going quicker, as I'm just waiting for Quantum to actually start a lap time, because last time we saw him, or I saw him, he had absolute terrible luck at round 3 when he just kept on disconnecting and it just wasn't his night. Let's see if we can get the best of Quantum tonight, because that would be great to see. But yeah. Cameron Dowds he's 8th on that second set of run through. 8th, he needs to be just that next step up.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've spoken a lot about Cameron's qualifying. We speak a lot about Cameron, and rightly so. We know what kind of a talent he is. We know what he can do. You know, he's fought for the title in the past 2 seasons. He's trying to make it, you know, 3rd time lucky. And, you know, as I said, he's got a huge amounts of talent, and it just feels like there's some areas which, you know, with age, he'll iron out, and when he does iron them out, it'll be scary for everyone involved. But there's just... You could tell he's still very, like, a raw talent, still. Of, you know, there's still just those... There's a lot within his driving and competing that just needs to be ironed out a little bit. You know, for him, you know, to make his life easier. You know, to go and dominate a season like this. Because he's got the race pace, but it's things like ironing out qualifying. If he can get his 1 lap pace without, you know, completely bidding off his race pace in the process, because that can happen as well. And you don't want to take away your main strength, because otherwise then you're just going to, you know, you're chasing losses the minute you start doing that. So it's going to be a bit of a process for him to get that 1 lap pace down. But once he does get it down, I know irons out a little, you know, some of the decision making, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But until then, it's very exciting for us as neutrals, because it's not, you know, not sodding off into the distance every week. But yeah, just a few things he needs to iron out, and I'm sure he will. Even if it's not this season, even if it's not next season, he will eventually get there. It's just going to take a bit of time, bit of patience, but he'll get it. Meanwhile, it's a Haas 1-2 at the moment.
Yeah, it's very good there, and you know, reminiscent of when I'm certain Gabble was in the Haas last season. I could be wrong, but Brando throws himself into 2nd as I'm trying to Epic Veil, unable to set a proper lap time there, unfortunately. Through that, Ryan then goes quicker, so the lap is obviously improving. That dry line coming in as Joe Mercy just slaps it down with 0.3 of a second, just reminding everyone that he's the one to watch right now, doing a very, very good day through it. And you know what? You know, Cameron Dowds is... and this is not meant no disrespect to YI Choco when he was racing, but he was very much qualifying pace, but then it was in the race, it just never seemed to happen, while Cameron seems to the complete opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I was like Cameron, basically. No, no, it's extreme, But that was definitely more of a Cameron Dow's time, especially towards the end of my racing days. Couldn't qualify, but you know, I could do race pace. That was fine. Yeah, I would always be one that would gain positions. Maybe not to the extreme that Cameron can, but you know, I was definitely race pace merchant 101 towards the end of my racing days. But yeah, it does usually end up being the other way around. You know, we talk about a lot of, you know, even over the years, even back, F1 2018 or 19 or even 20, you'd say, most of these kind of raw towns, they'd have the one lap pace in abundance, but the minute it came to a race and everything that comes with a race, the heavier fuel loads, the tires dropping off, they'll just begin to struggle a little bit, and, it would suddenly, it'd even out, and then, they'd just lose a bit. And then, they'd fall down a little bit, but once they ironed it out, it was crazy. I mean, remember Otis Lawrence, Elite, when he came to the scene, he would put in pole positions or front rows, left, right, and centre. But didn't quite have the race pace or the race management to turn it into victories and podiums. But then come F1, F1 22, pole, check out, pole, check out, pole, check out, and just it was just rinse and repeat basically for him, So we'll just see how these drives develop. Oh, well, a couple of minutes ago, it was a Haas 1-2. So now Sauber 1-2. Justin's come to the party.
It's good to see Justin performing again. It's always it always seems a bit weird seeing Justin further down the field, but it's good to see him towards the top. Renz then on his lap. He's quicker in his first sector as he's now heading through this. We've not spoken about this historic track, have we? So many names, Village, Wellington Straight, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Hanger Straight, Stone. Yeah, everything you say there, people will go, no, yeah, that's Silverstone. It is such a historic track. Maybe not as historic as Spa in that sense, but you know exactly what you're going to get with Silverstone. And it's pretty much chaos.
It will be. Especially if it's dry. I watched a Tier 3 race last night. Yeah, no one's breaking that DRS. no one's going to break it. A mass collision's going to have to occur, or a mass undercut's going to have to occur. And that might be where the race is won, actually. If it is dry, we'll be in the pit stop phase. That will be where the race is won. For sure.
Definitely. And, I mean, 3 minutes, I say plenty of time in qualifying. In the chat, let us know who you think is going to take pole position as Tech, again, finds a little bit of time to make it just that little bit more interesting as Rayan and Renz, both of them, decide their lap times weren't good enough, made a mistake somewhere. As let's see what Joe Murphy can do. But yeah, my take is it is very much anyone's, and I believe with what you just said there, it's anyone's game, isn't it?
Case in point, Dirk to the top of the timing streets in the McLaren, 33.4. Who else is on a lap? Well, I think they're all just getting ready to set off on a lap, Ryan out of the pits. Owen's about to start a lap time. So it's absolute crunch time here in Silverstone. It's a soggy Silverstone, as it often is. And yeah, just over 2 minutes remaining. Well, we're going to find out who's going to claim pole position. Who's going to master the wet weather in qualifying here today. Plenty of time still for a lot to change.
Yeah, and with it being so wet and in its style, it's very much the case of as Gabor now goes 5/10, half a second clear, pretty much. Supply Raptor is up on his lap time. It's going to bring him into the 33s. I don't think it's going to be enough to break any of the top 5 here, but it's still quick and it's still something to watch out for as he's just getting quicker and quicker as the track is getting quicker and quicker through into Vale and around through Club. Now, what can Supply Raptor do in the Mercedes? 1 minute 32 to go across the line. It's a 33.7. It's up to 6th place.
Yep, so result, that will be his qualifying done though, so he's a bit of a sitting duck. Alpha Gully is done as well, so that is potentially one name out of the equation. He's been picking up form of late, has the Williams of Alpha Gully. So it's going to be P5 at best for the Williams. Now, there's a couple of Aston Martins coming up towards the line. Ryan obviously about to start a lap, as is Spicer. Who else on a lap? Is Dirk on another one? No, he's going to be about to start another one. So I think there's very few actual laps going on at this moment in time. Joe Murphy's second half down. Yeah, he's going to be going again very shortly. Ryan's just started his lap. Who else? Is anyone on a lap at the moment coming towards the end of it? Dirk retires, so that's him done.
It just seems like
I think they're
everyone's
all
getting ready. It's a full
Epic
gaggle
Vale.
of car down the Hangar Straight. But let's go on board with Epic
Big
Vale.
Vale! Sorry.
Provisional pole for Epic Vale.
Yeah, it might become a bit apparent over the course of this season, especially as he won last week in Vegas with a very good showing. I'm a bit of a fan of Epic Vales, especially after watching him towards the back end of Tier 2 last season. And it's absolutely no surprise that after a few races, he's getting amongst the big boys here in Tier number 1. So Epic Vale, that'll be him done. It's at 1:32.807. That is the time to beat for everyone, just starting their final flying laps now.
Let's go on board Ryan then. He's going to be the first of the final runners. I say that. I think that's Tech Brutal just throwing himself up into third place. But Ryan, quicker than his previous lap time, but it's going to be tight to get it to the line into anything in the 33.5s. That'll take him to the top 5. But we'll have to wait and see as he rounds through Club and Vale now. Or Vale and Club, I should say. Final time in qualifying, and it's across it, and it is up into P2 for Ryan. His teammate now in Spicer. Now, what can they do as they cross the line? A little bit of a tail wig. It's up into 6th place. Joe Murphy next. This is the one to watch. What can Joe Murphy do through Stowe? It's looking relatively tight and tidy through it all into the final section, or sector, section really. Final few corners. Joe Murphy, a lot of pressure on him. He's down to 10th for the first time in this qualifying. Across the line, it's only P4.
Only P4, Reds Thomason, his main championship rival at this moment in time, coming up to the line. Cameron Downs needs a lap, and that's a big one. Up to P5, that'll do nicely for the Mercedes. Here comes Reds Thomason, and it's pole by near enough 2.5 tenths. Reds Thomason, championship leader, comes to the party up late. His teammate in the other half, Owen, puts it P3, just in displaces Epic Vale on the front row towards the end. All in the space of a few seconds. And there you go, I think it's going to be Reds Thomason with another, is there going to be another pole position, or is it going to be his first pole position of the season? We're about to find out. His second pole position of the season, as one check of the standings confirmed. So there you go, championship leader, Reds Thomason, going back, extending his lead and taking control of the standings of this championship in the right way.
Yeah, well, he needed it. He needed something big to go against Joe Murphy tonight, but he's still got to worry about Cameron Downs in 8th place. And I wonder if doing an extra install lap, I suppose you could call it, for Joe Murphy, whether he's going to come back and that just going to come back and bite him in the end there. I wonder if I'm going to get the top 20 this week, or if it's going to just drop it off and give it to someone else. And if it does work, if it doesn't, then I'll have to defer to you. Black screen. Yes, here we go. Rens Thomason on pole. Yep.
Got it.
For the first time, I think, this season. Justin in 2nd. 3rd for Epic Vale. Owen in 4th. 5th to Ryan. A great qualifying for him. MVR Gabble in 6th place. 7th to Joe Murphy. 8th to Cameron Downs. I Phantom in 9th. And Shizu Volakongan in 10th. Then we got Brando, Tech, Dirk, Rayan, Spicer, Hazara, Alpha Gully, who's down in 17th place. Supply Raptor, Quartz and Quantum. Alpha Gully, who was so quick early on and retired early, he's going to be kicking himself. Very much, I think.
Yeah, that's not gone well, has it, for the Williams? Contrasting fortunes between the two Williams. Yeah, obviously Epic Vale, head in the second, and Alpha Gully down in 17th. Not what he's used to, and yet, he's been picking up pace. I mean, both Williams have been picking up pace. They played a huge role in, the kind of the final few rounds of the Tier 2 Championship last season. Both of them. Obviously, their teammates this year, they were, on different teams. There was Alpha Gully was Tech Brutal's teammate, and actually did a lot of, solid work for Tech Brutal. Towards the back end of that season, whilst Spicer was, charging him down, or Epic Veil was seriously hunting down Tech Brutal and Spicer at the front. But yeah, those I mean, I look at those four: Spicer, Epic Veil, obviously Tech Brutal being the champion from last season, and Alpha Gully. Those are kind of that I was watching for at the start of the season. They were the main four last season in Tier 2, and it was always going to be interesting for me at least to see how they were gonna progress and where they were gonna kind of like fit in within this grid. And it looks like the two Williams in particular, especially in the past couple rounds, have really stepped up their game and are bordering on vying for wins and podiums or top fives. I mean, hey, Epic Veil is literally the man who won in Vegas last week, so they're really developing nicely. Despite Alpha Gully not having the greatest qualifying here today, it'd be interesting, if he had got another lap in, what he could have done. But it's gonna be a bit of a damage limitation job for the Williams, or for one of the Williams. The other Williams is in with a very good shout of making it back-to-back victories.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they can do this time around. Back to the standings, though, and having a look at this. No points separating Renz Tomlinson and Joe Murphy, and that is why it was crucial for Renz to get pole and Joe Murphy behind Cameron Downs on the qualifying score sheet tonight. Cameron is third in the championship overall, Gabor in fourth, Brando fifth, Epic Veil in sixth after a cracking race last time out. And you know what? Let's have a look at how close it was for Epic Veil last time, because it ended on Las Vegas, 0.069 separating them.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was Joe Murphy who was leading it from Renz. I think it was from Renz Thomason. I believe that could be complete. Yeah, I think it was Renz going into that final big straight, and just like in China, nobody wanted to lead. And in the end, I think I ended up describing it as a motorway, as the M1 or the M25 or whatever you want to call it, because that's what it looked like down that final back straight, heading into that final chicane. It was about 2 sets of 4 or 5 wide, just going in for victory. And in the end, it was Epic Veil that got into the final chicane, or got out of that final chicane leading, and hung on for victory. Obviously, Renz Thomason just finished ahead of Joe Murphy as well to go level on points and claim the championship lead. Spicer as well claimed P4 in the Aston Martin. Alpha Gully 5th. Yeah, it was just a completely and utterly bonkers end. It was a bonkers race in Las Vegas.
And that is, well, I would recommend going back and watching it if you haven't yet, to people in the chat. And, well, we mentioned earlier on, it's a short season and it's, round 5, which means at the end of this race, we will have no further, well, we not no further, but we're in the second half of the season. We are dead in the middle. So China, we've had United States, we've had Singapore, we've had Las Vegas. We will have the results of Great Britain tonight, Silverstone, and then to round out the year, we've got Netherlands and Hungary, and then we've got 3 incredibly short, feisty tracks in Canada, Austria, and Sao Paulo to start 2025, and that's a good way to start it, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be fast-paced, action-packed, those final 3 races. Sorry, I've just received a message to something completely irrelevant to this race. But yeah, those final 3 rounds are gonna be, well, look, with any final 3 rounds, it's gonna be crucial. And obviously the scene, with Canada being the first one, that race could be a crucial one, because Canada is a race that can shake things up. It's not necessarily everyone's, in terms of pace, cup of tea, if you will. So that could be a race where you see some big movements in the championship, some big point swings. Potentially. We could just get a showdown between whoever's in there, and that would just be amazing going to the World Championship chicane on the final lap to witness. But yeah, that could be a big race. With penalties, obviously being a street circuit, wing damage, and even DNFing's, a huge possibility, or the risk of it, goes up compared to normal tracks. Obviously, Austria is just going to be probably one massive DRS fest with those 3 consecutive DRS straights. Obviously, Sao Paulo, I mean, last season it was mental. I'm sure it'll be mental again as a finale this season.
I really do gotta enjoy a Sao Paulo end of the season. It's my spiritual home to an end of an F1 season. And I think it really should be back there again, especially when you have races like in Sao Paulo in real life, when you have that wet weather and you get someone like Max doing something incredible. It's just that sort of heavy rain. And it's like Michael Schumacher in Catalonia when it was really pissing it down with rain, I believe, 95, and just pulled out a life of, a lap of absolute ingenious. And, we've seen, Damon Hill in Japan as well. You just get these wet races that people you get their best driver out of them. And obviously we've seen that here in some of the wet weather or interchangeable conditions that we get in WOR, because we've had a lot of that this season, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think Vegas was possibly the quieter of those.
Yeah, I think we ended up with was it completely dry, or did we end up with a wet quali? Or was that Singapore? I'm thinking about. It could be Singapore that I think was the wet quali. So yeah, actually Vegas was and still is the only track that's had a completely dry weekend. I believe, obviously because of the rain in qualifying. It looks like it's going to be a dry race. From what I can see at least, although a bit of overcast, bit of cloud cover, especially in the distance, so maybe some weather incoming later on this Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, just those kind of wet weather races are always just spring up a surprise. It gets really does show who the best drivers are, but it also can just give a chance, especially if it comes later on in the season, just for a completely surprise winner when get the drivers at the top. Maybe not wanting to risk as much, not wanting to throw it in the fence and lose a whole load of points, and just gets a driver, say from the mid pack, or someone who's been in the mid pack all season, or even at the bottom end of the field, just says, you know what, I'm gonna risk everything, win it or bid it kind of mentality, and they just get it right, and it's an incredible result. And we might get that later on in this race. Who knows? But it's a dry start at the very least.
We will wait and see. It's I'm tantalisingly ready to press the button for to go to the. And here we go.
There you go.
Tantalisingly ready, and we are ready. We're on 5 lights here. 18 corners of Silverstone. For the first lap is away, and Renz has had a very good start, but so is Justin. They're side by side through turn 1, but somehow Renz is just holding on to the lead to start it through. There's some changing behind, but Justin tries to switch back through. The Williams of Epic Vale is trying to get involved as well, and he has done on medium tyres, I believe, to start this Grand Prix for majority of these people, and nearly all of them are. And Renz holding off Justin, but is Justin going to dart up the inside? He decides better of it, but he's still got his nose there, which might put that Haas slightly at a disadvantage. Whoa. And I think that's possibly a little bit of games there from Renz.
Yeah, I was looking a little bit further back between Epic Vale and Owen on Justin as well. As Gabor coming down side by side through Cops on lap 1 of 26. Cameron Downs up the inside of Gabor into Cops, and he's got the move done. So Cameron Downs up to 5th, which is, to be honest, at this stage of the Grand Prix, he must be having a nosebleed. He's never usually this far up, is the Scotsman. He's in prime position now. It's Cameron Downs. Unfortunately for him, it's probably one of the worst tracks for it, because it's just going to be a DRS train. He's not going to be able to make use of his race pace. Here goes basically everyone into Stowe Corner. It's just on the inside. It's Epic Vale on the inside. No, it's going to be Owen around the outside of Stowe Corner. That's going to allow Cameron Downs to make a move into the final chicane. He goes right around the outside of Owen into the final chicane of Vale and Club, and he gets the move done. So the Scotsman in the Mercedes into P4 the end of lap 1. Renz Thomason leads the way. Justin tucked in behind. Epic right tucked in behind the kick Sauber of Justin. He's thinking about a move as we come through farm into Village. Tucks in behind just for the timing. A little bit of battling going on further back. Gabor's getting involved, as is Ryan. Joe Murphy's also trying to get involved. He's down in PA. That's not a great start with Sauber. Also, that's going to be very bad news and alarming news, with the fact that Renz Thomason is leading this Grand Prix at this moment in time.
Yeah, Ryan and Joe Murphy dropped down. Ryan 2 places, Joe Murphy 1. Aaron has also dropped down. But look at that, 4 places for Cameron Downs. It's the same as Quantum. He's up 5 places. But Phantom is down 9. That's not the best of starts for them, unfortunately, as we go. Let's have a look at the Epic. I'm just going to stay on board with Epic Vale because he's looking very, very feisty and racy, and looks like he wants to make some moves. And I suppose when you've got Cameron Downs bearing down on you, it makes it that little bit more, well, threatening.
Brent Thompson wide. Brent Thompson a bit wide on the exit. I'm trying to remember which corner is. Oh, Chapel, there we go, got it in the end. Here comes Justin there to the inside of Rens Thompson to lead the race into Stowe corner. They're going to be still side by side. A little bit caught on the inside, Kevin, that allowed Rens Thompson to get the drive on exit. Now then, can he make a move into club? No, nothing doing. Cameron Downs also have to slow behind, but it's going to be pouring like this the entire 26 laps, so get ready, because this is going to be an action-packed Silverstone Grand Prix. So I don't think anyone's going to be breaking the DRS anytime soon.
It definitely doesn't look like it. And as soon as there's a tiny little bit of a break, and I think that is Joe Murphy, I'll get the name right in a moment, trying a audacious move on Ryan, and I think he's going to get this done. And there could be a slight little bit of a break, but I think it's all fair and good in the end for that one. Back up to the leaders, because, well, you can't really stop watching this, as I think Justin there through into Brooklands makes a little bit of a mistake, but actually it helps him through Luffield, and Epic Vale maybe a little bit under pressure from Cameron Dowds, but he managed to get the foot down and doing a very good job. Now into Cops, and it's a lovely camera angle from the helicopter view here, just watching all these drivers go through and into Maggots and Beckett's. And Justin, I think just a little bit slower than Epic Vale, but is being helped by the slipstream and the DRS of Rens Thomason ahead.
Yep, here he goes. He's in the slipstream. Rens Thompson this time defends the inside line, which is going to allow Justin to go right round the outside if he fancies. But I don't think he actually wants to. He looked like he lifted off the throttle a bit. So Justin, not fancying leading this Grand Prix at this moment in time. Epic Vale getting very close to the back of that Sauber. As they all Constantine are up into club, but nothing doing as far as the front runners are concerned. At this moment in time, Tech Brutal sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix. He's down to the 1 minute 28 is the RB. He's latching onto the back of this train in 9th. In fact, this is a whole 13-car train in this battle for victory at this moment in time. As Quantum has lost touch of the train. He's 2 seconds back, and he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to catch on to that train, which will be incredibly difficult with everyone else having DRS constantly. So all the time you do gain the corners, you're just going to lose on the straights. You have to have quite a pace advantage if he wants to reel in that train of 13.
Well, they just maybe work together. I know they're not teammates, but maybe work together with the drivers behind.
Yeah.
Just to get themselves in there. Is that Cameron Downs having a little look on Epic Vale? It was.
Thinking about it.
Trying to do it's quite apt. A Mercedes trying to do
right to him.
What Lewis, and this is going to be flaming tight. And how has Cameron Dowds pulled off possibly the move of, well, definitely the season? Cameron Dowds just showing why he is what he does in the race pace, and it's going to be free wide as they come through into Stowe, but it's not a very good camera angle, unfortunately, as Justin trying to find a way past Rennes. Epic Vale is not giving up on this at all, and he's gonna push. Oh, he's collected Cameron Downs. Oh dearie me. Oh dearie me. That is, I'm surprised that's not more than a virtual, and Cameron Dowds is going to be a little bit frustrated with that one.
I cannot believe that. I'm speechless. We're speechless in the commentary box. Goodness me. I mean, look, it was an incredible move from Cameron Downs. We'll talk about that quickly, because that was just ridiculous on lap 4 of 26. Into Max and Beckett. Just incredible bravery. Obviously, they're just all concertinaed up into Stowe corner and into Vale and Club. And, Epic Vale, he made the move, he got round the outside. And he obviously had the inside as well. For the right-hander. Obviously, Cameron Downs was still, was still there, but they just hooked. They just hooked onto each other, and that was that. It's a racing incident in the purest form. Basically, it's just one of those. And Cameron Dow's race, well, he'll have a ton of wing damage. Yeah, there you go. No front wing on that Mercedes. Lucky to actually be still in this Grand Prix is the Mercedes. And oh boy, his championship takes another kick to the teeth. And well, if you're Rens Thomas and if you're Joe Murphy, that is, you know, big points to be gained over the Scotsman. That can be oh so crucial come the end of this season. Everyone. Oh, hello, Dirk's going for a move on his teammate Brando into pit lane. In fact, Dirk's gone for a move on about 5 of them into the pit lane. Joe Murphy's got a 10-second penalty for speed in pit lane. What has gone on here under the virtual safety car?
Oh, goodness me. I think Dirk has caused Joe Murphy 20 seconds worth of points. Because I don't want to say for certain, but it looked like there was a little bit of a nudge which made that kick Sauber that little bit faster over the line. I think Joe Murphy is going to be fuming. This is interesting. I mean, it says virtual safety car up on the top left there, but it is a full safety car. There is a safety car waiting, but Rens is going to be rubbing his hands with glee at the moment. This is a perfect situation.
Yeah, and this is one of those where you kind of have two options really. There's one way you can say, right, pressure off. You know, Joe Murphy's got a 10-second penalty. Cameron Downs is, well, I guess with it being a full safety car, it's not completely out of this race. He's going to be at the back of the train, so he can gain something from back there, I suppose. But still, it's going to be a big opportunity, for Rens to gain something. So whether he doesn't risk as much and say, okay, points gained are points gained, or whether he says, I go for it, I need to win this race, I need to get the maximum amount of points. Because, I mean, I was saying before this race started that Canada could be that one. It still might be in round 8 that Canada could be, a big possibility of huge point swings. We might be about to see a big one here in Silverstone, because Rens Thomason has a huge opportunity to gain some big points, or at the very least 2 of his main championship rivals, in Cameron Downs and Joe Murphy. Gabor is tuned there in P3. He's still going to have a massive say in the outcome of this championship. So Gabor will also look to get involved and gain some points over those two, and hey, maybe try and claim a race win and gain some points of Rens Thomason as well, and put himself really into the mix. I mean, he already is really into the mix, as Gabor is only 10 points off Rens Thomason. But yeah, Gabor, Rens Thomason, huge races now.
Now, I'm just trying to see if I can get a replay of this, because we're going to be on the safety car for a little bit longer, aren't we? A lot of other drivers going in and probably getting their 10 penalties.
Brando with a pen.
I'm going to see if I can get this as a replay. I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're going to try it. Let's on the stream. It's not going to be the best of qualities, but as we come on through, it is an incredible move from Cameron Downs, and I think that could be what Epic Vale's maybe just a little bit off put as well. So he's possibly just desperate to get the move back, and then straight down the hangar straight here into Stowe, and it's all hectic because there's action ahead, action behind. Owen is trying to get involved as well. Cameron's got the position into Vale, and this is going to be interesting. Very, very tight, and it's just really an unfortunate situation, isn't it?
It's just a racing incident, isn't it?
I am going to feel sorry for the stewards, nonetheless.
Yeah.
But we're under safety car here on lap 7 of 26. We have pretty much seen it all, and I tell you what we will do. Let's have a look at the tyre situation again. Everyone in the top 13 is on hards, while the people in 14 below are on mediums. They are going to push their mediums to the end of the race, which is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This race was meant to be medium soft, which is unusual to anything we've seen this season. The soft tyre as a race tyre is unheard of, but in Silverstone, I was watching Tier 3 last night. That was a strategy. So it'd tell me that the mediums could probably go quite a way, especially if you've got fresh mediums. They probably can do, especially if needed. I mean, it won't be ideal, but they definitely will be able to do 20 laps. Safety car in this time around. We could be in for, you know, look at Hazara, Supply Raptor, Quantum, Joe Murphy, Brando and Ryan. Look out for them, because they're going to be charging through this field. And it may not be so plain sailing for those at the front of the hearts after all. Rens Thomason, when are you going to go, mate? When are you going to pull the trigger? When are you going to drop the hammer? We're about to find out. Rens Thomason leading the championship, leading the Grand Prix, and he drops the hammer now, and he leads the way once again. We're green flag here on lap 8 and 26 here in Silverstone. Rens Thomason leads the way, Justin tucked up in behind. Now it's Gabor in third place. It's the Alpine instead of the Williams hunting down Justin here in Silverstone. Got Owen there as well. He'll try and maybe back up his teammate as much as he can, or play bodyguard for Rens Thomason. Is it too early for that? Do that kind of relationship? Who knows? Dirk after his, well, I don't know what to call it. Genius, stupidity, who knows? Probably the stewards will have to have a say on that one as well. That is in pit lane under safety car. Either way, Dirk's up to P5. He's really put himself in a good position. Hazara's dropped down the field, I've noticed as well. He was leading that medium tree. He's now near enough at the back of it, so he's not had the greatest of starts. Rens Thomason away safely in the lead on lap 8 and 26.
See how it handles Dirk. Obviously, well, Tech with that penalty and Joe Murphy with the penalties to boot, both struggling through this, as Owen is all over the back of Gabor. And Gabor, this is a good chance for Gabor to get himself back into the championship fight as well. That's something that we've kind of left to the wayside a little bit, but he's up into third, and he's quite close. Well, Ren's obviously going to extend, but it means that he doesn't extend too much over Gabor than he would have wanted. Justin has a big part to play in all this as well. There's still so much to be said with just under 20 laps remaining into Vale. There was Tech trying to find a way past Dirk, and he's still trying to find a way through as well. DRS is enabled now. Alpha Gully doesn't seem like he's got the same pace as he did in the wet at Silverstone. Maybe he's a little bit of a wet weather master here, but he is struggling overall, I think.
Well, he's up 10 from his side position. Remember, he started down in 17th in the Williams, so I think if you sail lap 9, you're going to be in P7, still within the leading DRS train. It'll snap your hand off with Alpha Gully. But it depends if we can hang on and make any progress from there, because we have had a safety car and a safety car restart. Some drivers have come in.
There's double stacks as well.
Yeah, Cameron Dow's up to 11, Joe Murphy up to 13. Watch out for those two coming through the field. Any battling going on further back? Anyone going to be brave enough to try into Cops corner? I ask myself. Please no. Anyone? Please no. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. All single file through Cops and then Pro through Magnus and Beckett as well.
Brando looking like he's trying to be really racy behind Supply Raptor, and obviously he was quite high in this race earlier on, but now he's just not really with it, as we've just missed the move of Tech and Dirk there into just before Stowe on the hanger straight. Where previously I've driven 140 miles an hour in an Aston Martin, so I'm quite pleased with that.
Ah, there you go.
In real life, not in the game. You would think that you would get a little bit higher on an Aston Martin in this game, but probably not. Anyway, moving on. Brando, fastest man on the track at this moment in time, but Tech, you know what? Tech is looking a little bit more racy now in this, second part, this part after the safety car.
Yeah, looking comfortable as well. You know, in that RB, he's had a good start to the season, I'd say. Well, I say that, actually, he's only had 1 point finished. I take that back. But he's looked all right as Tech moves forward. There's a car on the inside of Gabor. It's Owen out the inside of Gabor into Brooklyn. So turns to the outside of the left field, a little bit of contact. Gabor has the inside and keeps that move for the time being. Gabor holding on nicely for P3 there. But yeah, Tech Brutal, I guess he's on for. What kind of penalty does he have? Is it a 10-second one that he has? It is. He's going to plummet down the field again. Is the reigning Tier 2 champion come the end of this Grand Prix. But yeah, when watching Tech Brutal this season, he's been in good positions. I think it's just ran into a bit of bad luck potentially in some of them. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, hopefully on the road he can get a good result. And it's one of those when you get a massive penalty like that, you kind of always have to think to yourself, right, see what we can get on the road. We'll take that as a moral victory. We'll go again next week because there's not a lot you can do about those kind of penalties. Rain on the inside of Alpha. That's going to be brave, and I'm glad he left off the throttle and backed out of that because that could have been curtains if he'd stuck his nose there into club. But yeah, nothing doing. Ryan fast lap for the Grand Prix on the medium compound tyres. Rain's going to have another go into Village up the inside of Alpha Gully. He'll then turn into the loop. He'll have the outside for the loop. Job done for the Red Bull of Rain. Well, is the job done? No, they're going to be still side by side through Aintree. Side by side consistently between these two, and Rain plants the overtake button and he gets that move done. He's done enough side by side action for a little bit, and Rain up to P7 in that Red Bull. And what's going on further out in front?
Further down is Cameron Downs versus Joe Murphy through Luffield, and this, well, and that has just allowed Brando some good defence there from from Cameron Downs. That's allowed Joe Murphy to get involved, but I think there's wing damage for Joe Murphy, which is going to be really difficult through Maggots and Beckett's, and I think Brando does a wise thing and
yeah,
drops
there is
out.
missing an end plate. He is missing an end plate. Is Joe Murphy. So again, his race takes another hit for the Sauber now. Brando's going to be all over the back of it. It's going to be the outside for Stowe Corner for Brando, but nothing doing. It's going to be a switchback, in fact, for the McLaren, making brilliant use of that extra aerodynamics on the car. And Brando is up. Joe Murphy has come into a bit of an incident. What's gone on there?
He's just slammed his brakes on and let everyone through. He's maybe in a little bit of protest there. I'm not sure. I did go on board with the leaders momentarily because Justin took the lead for a real short moment of time, but I think Joe Murphy is frustrated, and that could be, I don't want to say championship curtains, but with it being such a short distance in this calendar, and his main title rival Rennes up into first, it's not ideal.
It's not ideal at all. It will be a big moment nevertheless in this championship. Tech Bruce will doing battle with Owen. He's gone right round the outside of Luffield. Has he got a bit of contact on exit? Wanted the same piece of tarmac, and in the end, after a little bit of lifting of the throttle, Tech Brutal does get in into P4 in that RB at the least on the road. Owen down to P5. Good move there for the RB of Tech Brutal. Good move for the reigning Tier 2 champion. And now he's setting his sights on NVR Gabor. He's got a lot. That car seems to be turning quite a bit in the RB. He's got that car hooked up at least through the corners. Is Justin looking for a move into Stowe? No. We'll stay back, as he has shown throughout a lot of this Grand Prix.
I think he's just happy for the time being, just to maybe play a little bit of games. As earlier on, Volokongen did have a little bit of a mishap and allowed Phantom through, and Cameron Dowd still just struggling, and maybe Cameron Dowd has damage here. I haven't checked. Let's have a look, because he's falling away from that main group, and there is left end plate damage to the Mercedes man, and that is not ideal at all. And Justin pushing, what looks like he's pushing Rennes Thomason through this part of the track.
Yeah, indeed. I think Brando's going to get a nice switch back out of the loop. He's going to be inside of Aintree, and he's going to dispatch of Cameron Dowds. Brando, now the leading driver on that medium compound tyre, dispatched of, I guess, what was a moving roadblock, with all due respect to Cameron Dowds with that wing damage, of course, no fault of his own. But yeah, now he's dispatched of that. It'll be interesting what kind of pace he has in comparison to, the rest of the top 10, being the lead medium compound runner. How long can he keep hold of those mediums for? Will they keep for the entire race, or are they going to drop in those last couple of laps? Time will tell. Quantum on a set of soft compound tyres sets a fast lap with the Grand Prix. I think it'll be fairly set in stone that it will be softs if there's a safety car or a virtual. Probably not a virtual, but if there's a full safety car, that will be soft tyres at the right bond. Here comes Justin there, to the outside of Rennes Thomason. He's finally going for the movement. Gabor's gone to the inside. Rennes Thomason gets savaged between the two. He's down to third place, and as Gabor and Justin do battle through the Vale into club. Gabor round the outside, turn it to the inside for the right-hander, and Gabor, just like that, at the halfway stage of this Grand Prix, leads the way here in Silverstone with a fabulous double overtake to put himself up into P1, and potentially, will it be the championship lead? They might just be missing out. No, it'll be level on points with Rennes Thomason, because it's 15 for third, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's not 16. So Gabor goes level with Rennes Thomason with that move, and I believe with No, he hasn't had a race victory all season, so it will. I don't know what the countback's going to be on that one. I think by way of third place finishes, Gabor might be lead the championship provisionally right now. Well, Ted Brutal making the move on Red Thomason. It definitely will be the provisional championship lead for Gabor. A horrible few corners, horrible half a lap for Red Thomason. And, well, we said he might want to go for big points. You know, we look at Cameron Dowes with wing damage. He's just put on a set of medium compound tyres, so he's made a pit stop. Joe Murphy, well down the field in 17th. You know, he's going to be getting at least 12 points in this race. It really might be a case scenario. Do go big. If you can get a race victory, that's going to be huge for Red Thompson. But he's, you know, in P4, he's not going to panic just yet, I don't think, but he's going to have to settle down a bit because he's been leading the majority of this Grand Prix. Now, he's down to P4. Here comes Justin then. Does Justin finally want to lead this Grand Prix or not? He's going to look to the outside of Stowe Corner and go right round the outside of Stowe Corner to lead the Grand Prix here in Silverstone. Gabor, oh, that's tight. It's very tight. I think it was defending from Tech Bruce at the same time. There's all manner of chaos going on further back for P5, 6, 7 and 8. In the distance, not sure who's come out where in that one.
There was very much Dirk and Rayan just going absolutely hammer and tong through Stowe. Phantom picking up a penalty there as well. But, well, I think Justin and, well, I don't think it was Justin. I think Gabor was so fed up of having to defend from Tech that he was like, I need to force the overtake on Renz. And he still ended up with Tech behind him because Tech's just glued to the back end of that Alpine. Renz trying to find a way through it. Maybe he's trying to save some ERS because he was using so much to stay in front down the hanger straight and into Stowe. Justin, though, leading this for the first time on lap 15 of 26. And Tech Brutal proving to be an absolute nuisance with his current racing. He's doing a fantastic job. He's got that 10 seconds, obviously, but maybe this is his way of making sure he does something as Justin struggling through Maggott and Beckett. And Tech has so much pace going through there.
I know, that car just looks hooked up. It's clearly not lacking in straight line speed or anything like that. I mean, Rest Thompson's gaining a bit here, and now they're going to be side by side into Stowe Corner. So Gabor's up the inside of Justin once again. He'll lap 15 and 26 into Stowe Corner. Ever so close. Oh, it is close. They have touched. Into Vale, into Club they go. Gabor to the outside. He'll go for the inside of Justin, and Gabor does lead this Grand Prix, but oh so close. It's a calamity between the top two. They're just about to keep it facing the right way. Tech Brutal keeps it there in third place. And Tech Brutal's car it looks so hooked up in that RB. Can he make a move on Justin into Farm? No, into Village, nothing doing. And well, Rens Thomason is being attacked by his team. Oh, look at Rain to the inside of the loop. He starts up the inside or tries to. Of Owen in the ass. In the end, he doesn't get the drive. Now that leaves him vulnerable to the cloud of Dirk, who's now going to look to the inside. Rain comes off. What's going on further in front? Oh, it's on the inside. They're 3-1 into Brooklyn. It's bound to end in calamity, and indeed it does. Oh, it's down all the way down into P10. 3-1. Doesn't go. Oh, the unlucky victim on the inside line. Rest Thomas is up to 4th. Tech Brutal down to P4.
This all, well, you mentioned it was going to be chaos before well, not before the stream, but before the race started. Before even qualifying started, and it has been exactly that. Renz has found a little bit of pace again, but look how quick Tech is. We're going to say it all race long, because it is just so planted through Maggots and Beckett's. He's trying around the outside of Renz Thomason. This is going to be really tight. Tech has got himself back in front, but only by a whisker as they head on through Vale now. Is Renz going to do anything about it? There's still some, well, it's just a gaggle of cars all the way down to 15th here, and it's just one clump as I think Supply Raptor's fallen down a little bit, and unfortunately that we don't have Joe Murphy or Cameron Downs involved in this, or even Epic Vale, because they're some of the quickest drivers. Well, the Epic Vale has definitely shown he's one of the quickest drivers, as has Tech coming up from Tier 2. But here comes Red on Renz. It wasn't happening on this occasion into Aintree, and he's had to back out again, and like he did last time on the last lap, when I just don't think he has enough confidence going into the inside through Aintree to make a move.
No, he does. Oh, Justin right to the back of Gabor. A little bit of contact. That's going to allow Tech Brutal to maybe make the move. No, nothing doing just yet for the RB. But it looks, for Tech Brutal, it just looks like a matter of time before he gets the leader spot. Look at that. He's got so much more grit compared to Justin through Cops. He has to lift off before Max and Beckett to avoid hitting the back of him. And again through Max and Beckett. Just look how hooked up the car is. Goodness me. Take Bruce, what have you done? How have you set up the car for this week? Everyone wants to know. Here we go then, down the hanger straight. On lap 17 and 26, Justin doesn't want to make a move. Tech Brutal thinking about a move. Red Thompson is making a move to the outside of Tech Brutal. Can he get it done? He's going to use the opposite, try and stick his nose in the inside through Vale and Club. No, Tech Brutal later on the brakes. Can he keep that third place? I think he will. Does he get caught on the curb? No, he doesn't. Tech Brutal keeps hold of BB. Oh, race up the inside though. Race up the inside through the final corner. And now they're going to be side by side into Abbey. Hold your breath, everybody. Then side by side through Farm as well. Reds Thompson doesn't want to be taking this kind of risk, especially with those two. He's made the protagonist down outside the points. He's fighting for his life to try and keep on a P4, and he does indeed keep on a P4 for the time being. He just about holds on to the, from TF10 Rain in the Red Bull. And now as you think about move, Dirk is to the outside, he charges around the outside into Brooklyn. He now stuffs up the inside of Rain into Lutfield. It's all chaos. Fred Thomason loses the back end mid-corner as well. Alpha Gully's just waiting patiently for a moment to move up to P6 or P5. And meanwhile, Brando's on a set of medium tyres. I'm waiting for him to get involved as well. Goodness me.
I really don't understand Turk's idea of going up the inside into Brooklands, but I don't know, around the outside and into the inside of Luffield, but I don't know if he had much of a choice, but it's all just calamity, carnage at the moment, and I think Brando's just possibly waiting to see, well, pick up the pieces when it all goes down as Volakonga gets past Phantom just in the background there as into the final two corners. It's too wide between Dirk and Rayan, and Dirk has got the move done on this occasion, which is going to give a reprieve to Rens Thomason, because Rayan was desperate to get a move done on him, but it just hasn't been hasn't happened on this occasion.
No, here comes Alpha Gully. Is Alpha Gully going to make it worse for the Red Bull? Rain looks to the outside. There's contact. Heavy contact. Alpha Gully off the road. Brando's going to say thank you very much. I'll slip on by up into P7. Job done for Brando. And it's going to be a big race for Brando now as well. Well, in fact, we'll get to that in a minute because Justin doesn't want to make a move on Gabor. Neither does Tech Brutal. So that's all holding station up at the front for Brando. Race winner in China, don't forget. Feels like a while since since that happened. Back in Shanghai, but he was the victor that time out. He picked up a good result here. We've said it a lot with Cameron Downs, with Joe Murphy, all the way down to 17th and 18th. He alongside Rens Thompson, he alongside Gabor as well, is going to be looking to make inroads on those two at the top of the standings. So keep an eye on Brad. Obviously, he's the odd one out. He's on that medium compounded tyre, which he's going to have to make the most of probably any time now. He's got 100% battery, does the McLaren. But those tyres aren't going to be at their best forever. In fact, the last couple laps, you might just favour SF tyres. Here comes Justin then. It's the inside of Stoke Corner. Tech Brutal looking to get by the Alpine and Gabor as well. He does exactly that. Tech Brutal up to P2. Is he or is Gabor going to stuff it up the inside? Under brake into Club and Vale. Yes, he does. Gabor up the inside. Tech Brutal now side by side. That might leave Justin a potential chance to scamper off up the road and gap them. Big couple of corners now. With that in mind, I think he's just going to be too far. Gabor's going to be too close, if you will, to Sabra and Justin, but that was nearly a big moment for Justin to clear off into the distance. Rain and Dirk are going side by side once again, because of course they are. Just as has been for the last couple of hours, and now Brando's going to think about moving on his teammates.
This is all kicking off. Justin still has a little bit of gap there. Is Tech gonna be an unlikely teammate to Justin through all this? It's seeming, there's a little bit of contact there. I think that was Dirk just clipping the back end of Ray, and again, those two getting very close. But Tech is causing Gabor so many problems that it's just allowing Justin a little bit of a gap. But it is going to be the hanger straight, which is going to be the main point for Justin. Gabor should be able to defend. But look at how close Rens and Tech get to Gabor as they come through Maggots and Beckett's. It looks like Rens has found a way to do, maybe not as quickly, but a similar pace to Tech as they go through Maggots and Beckett's. He's found a way.
Always on the inside. score. He's up the inside into Stowe corner. Definitely a little bit wide, but nothing doing for the house. But yeah, he does seem like he's just found a little bit. Dramax and Bex, of course, he's had plenty of chance to study the back of that RB of Tech Brutal, so maybe he's found something just watching him over the past couple laps. But yeah, he has had a little bit. I can't believe I'm saying this in modern day league race. A couple tenths is a gap. It's a comfortable gap. That's how close it has got. Is Gabor thinking about a move into Village? No, Justin a little bit wide. Goes in a little bit deep on the brakes to cover off any hint of a move. Does the Sauber. We're getting to crunch time now. It's lap 20 on 26. Only a few laps remain. Now is going to be the time for the drivers to start positioning themselves exactly where they want to be. Brando wants to make a move on his teammate. He's going to look to the outside of Brooklyn's. Indeed he does. He's lay on the brakes. Is the McLaren on his McLaren teammate. It'll be the inside for Lutfield. Role reversal of last time around. It's Brando on the inside of Lutfield. And I think he has got that move done. So Brando up another position on those medium compound tyres.
He's got to use those mediums now, though. There's not, but well, the life of them are it's starting to go the opposite direction. Gabble struggled through Cops, and this is really, really tight. Rayan, I think Rayan has the pace in the first sector over Renz, and he just can't find a way through. Let's see how they all pan down. Well, how it all pans down as they come down the hanger straight for lap 21 of 26.
Here comes Renz and he wants to make a move on Tech Brutal. Tech Brutal gets boxed in. Renz Thomason, 3-1 into Stowe. Is he going to go for the lead from fourth to first? Well, he's got two of them. It's back with the outside into Clubmanville. He backs out of it, so Justin takes lead of the Grand Prix for the time being. What is going on here? Gabor's going to lead the way out of nowhere. Where has that come from? Race into third. Renz Thomason is in fourth place. Tech Brutal's down to fifth. Dirk's now trying to make a move. Brando's ended up down in seventh. Now he's going to stuff it on the inside into Abbey corner. Dirk's now going around the outside. Tech Brutal. What on earth happened into Clubmanville? I have no idea. They're still side by side. Rain and Renz Thomason. So Renz Thomason finally has to do battle with Rain once again. He's a bit sideways through the loop into Atri. Down we go once again. Lap 22 and 26. Utter pandemonium in those last couple of corners. I have no idea what just happened and how it's all important. I don't know how Gabor ended up in the lead of the Grand Prix. I have no idea how Rain's ended up on the podium for the time being. What's happening?
Tech has been, well, I don't want to say whether he's been spun or not, but he's around. He's down to 9th place behind Phantom. But Renz, well, that was all very, very close. And Rayan finally getting past Renz Thomason, which it's taken him a little while, but now he can continue the fight and see if he can get anywhere with Justin and Gabble, because Justin and Gabble looking very racy as well. He's doing Rayan has found a different line to go through Maggots and Beckett's, and he's done just as good as Renz below. Let's see what happens as they come into Stowe. Is there going to be any sort of overtaking opportunity? No, not on this occasion. It is all a little bit calmer than it was last time round.
Just a bit. It was utter pandemonium last lap. Oh, I say that. Dirk's on the inside of Renz Thomason. Into Club, but nothing doing. The hopeful move from McLaren keeps it clean though, which is good to see. Renz Thomason keeps on a P4 for the time being. Justin tucked right behind the Alpine of Gabor. The two Xbox drivers doing battle at the front of this race for the time being. Is Rain looking for a move? Oh, thought he was going to make a lunge into the loop, but again, nothing doing. Thinking about it, maybe also half-heartedly covering off Renz Thomason as well. Crunch time, lap 23 or 26. Just over 3.5 laps remaining here in Silverstone, and I'm sure this is not how it's going to finish.
I'm almost certain that there's someone that's not in a podium position right now will be on the podium. Maybe even two. Owen has got himself back into the swing of things as well. He's back up to 6th after dropped, I believe, to 10th. After his collision, Ryan getting past Alpha Gully. The medium's still got a little bit of life in them, but I don't think it's enough for Brando right now, as Volakongan unfortunately has dropped down to 13th place. It's still all a little bit crazy down here as here comes Renz Thomason again, but it looks like more Rayan that's going to make a move on Justin as they go into Stowe, but I don't think so on lap 23. They're happy just to save a little bit more ERS, and behind I think Tech and Phantom battling away. I don't think anything's happening with the leaders. It's all single fire as Hazara picks up a penalty as well. It is all a little bit more quiet, a little bit calm. I think this is the eye before the storm.
Yeah, eye before the absolute mega storm that will just come in the last 2 laps. It might be a bit calmer this lap. I think lap 25 and lap 26 are just going to be it's just been a complete utter free-for-all, I think, by this point. I think it's clear no one's going to be able to pull the pin and check out, so it's just going to be a free-for-all, pass or be pass, basically, for the remainder of this race. Cameron Downs retires from the race, so that confirms a horrible day at the office for the Mercedes. Rain wants to maybe make a move on Justin into Brooklands. Nope, nothing doing. Yeah, all single file for the time being, but as you said, I'm sure that's not going to remain the case for the final 2 laps of this race.
No, it is, well, down the old pit straight here into Cops, and it's nice, calm, relaxing. But into Maggots and Beckers,
Nice
I think,
summer's day now.
not like it was in qualifying. It was a typical
No.
English summer's day. But yeah, into the hangar straight now. This is going to be, I think this is going to be start of the carnage. Is someone going to do it? Renz is going to be the one that tries to do maybe a double overtake again. Oh, there's definitely contact. Was there damage? I think is going to be the next question. Dirk is no stranger to throwing it up the inside, and he has. Oh, and there's contact between Owen and Ryan, and Ryan's caught. Ryan's around. Owen's around again, and that has probably allowed Renz a little bit of reprieve and attack, I guess.
Yes, nemesis throughout the entire race is finally. He's not going to have to deal with him, which is a relief for Renz Thomason. Obviously, a shame for Ryan again, just getting caught with Owen. Again, I mean, I don't know if anyone's at fault, probably just again, just a race again, so let's get another look at him. Maybe it'll be clear that it was, maybe one was at fault. Phantom's got up into P6 amongst all that melee, by the way. So it's a cracking drive from the Red Bull, if I do say so, if I'm not mistaken. The debutant here today is Phantom in the Red Bull, so he's had a cracking, yeah, it is his debut, so Phantom. Great debut so far, albeit with a penalty. I think it's only 3 seconds for the Red Bull. Indeed it is. So he'll still probably plummet down the field, unfortunately, but still, nevertheless, to find himself up in P6 on the road, solid debut for the Red Bull. But now, this is where the chaos begins.
It certainly is. Down the hangar straight for lap 25 for the penultimate time here at Silverstone. Does Justin go for a move? He thinks no, not this time. Renz doesn't think so either. It's going to be one of these three, surely, for the win. Dirk possibly could do something special as well after his Sebastian Vettel-esque overtake into the pit stop early doors. They've been on these tyres for 20 laps now from an early safety car, which was caused by a little bit of an incident between Epic Vale and Cameron Downs, which unfortunately saw the end of Epic Vale's race, and we lost Cameron Downs just a few moments ago for the remainder of this race. It is going to be all tight to the end as Ryan has retired, unfortunately, after his issues tonight. Is there going to be... There's a Red Bull in the background going a bit weird with Owen overtaking him as well. But it's all tight now until the end of the Grand Prix.
Indeed it is. This is Latfield and Justin trying to turn it underneath Gabor, but I'm sure they're all waiting for the crucial DRS down the hangar straight. I hope we don't see any DRS chicken like we saw in Shanghai, like we saw last week in Vegas. We're about to find out, I guess. Is Gabor going to play DRS chicken? I think not, and I'd say that's good on him. So Gabor's going to have to try and get the best exit possible through Max and Beckett and through Chapel. The car's sideways. He's trying to turn that car as much as he can. Now then, now it's crunch time. Now this is what matters. Gabor without DRS. Go weave and try and defend as much as he can. But here comes BLT Justin then. Here comes Renz Thomason to the inside. Of both of them into Stone Corner. He sends up the inside. Is he round? Is there contact? There's a little bit between the pair of them. Justin, though, is going to be unscathed. Into Club and Vale, I'm sure. He's going to win this one. Gabor is going to hold on to P2. Renz Thomason's going to try and find his way, and I think he will. He'll cling on to P3. But Justin takes his first race victory of the season with a move round the outside into Stone Corner. Gabor and Renz Thomason did battle on exit. They nearly threw in the fence. They kept it facing the right way. Dirk tried to make a move for the podium. He couldn't quite make it. Woke Brando P5. What a finale.
Wow, that was a way to end the Grand Prix after a race of carnage. That was one way to finish it. But, oh my goodness me, I can't wait for that to go down. Phantom getting points on his debut, if that is right as well. Finished in 7th by 0.013 of a second. Fair play. Wow, what a way to have this Grand Prix finish, and you know, Justin finally, I suppose, back. I don't want to say back where he belongs, but back towards the top where he does belong. He deserves to be at the top end of this, and it might even enter him maybe into a little bit of a title fight as well. We'll have to wait and see how it will all pan out as a little bit of a celebration for these guys. I do love how the AI does all that, but it's Justin that took victory tonight. Gabble, then Rens Thomason rounding out the podium. Then we've got Dirk, Brando, Owen, Phantom, Volokongan finally back into the points after a little bit of a weird race for him. Ryan getting points as well, with Quartz rounding out the point scorers. Then you've got Alpha Gully, who I think might have had damage towards the end. Tech with his 10-second time penalty. Hazara, Spicer, and Supply Raptor rounding out the finishers. Then we had non-finishers for Rayan, Joe Murphy, Cameron Dowds, Quantum, and Epic Vale, which is unfortunate. But my goodness me, what a way to end this one. I don't know if we're going to get interviews this week. I also don't think it's wise if we do speak to some of them this week as well.
Yeah,
it's one of those, definitely one of those which possibly isn't wise. But Leopard, what a way for Silverstone to happen. You mentioned at the start it's very much going to be a chaotic race. Can you give me the lottery numbers, because you were right?
I can't guarantee lightning will strike twice, I'm afraid. But yeah, I think it was always bound to be just with the DRS. That, you know, we've seen it so often this season. The DRS is so powerful on this game, along with the slipstream, and as well, you know, with the use of overtake, can just easily, you know, keep you within that if you're under threat of dropping out. But you know, even in previous games, we've seen Silverstone can be just a massive DRS train. Just with the lack of dirty air, basically just allows you to follow through the corners so nicely. So it's almost, you kind of get that slipstream effect throughout the kind of the middle of the lap, in corners where you'd maybe see in real life where the dirty air then takes over, and that's where you'd gain the time. You know, particularly, you know, through down the old pit straight into cops and so on. But yeah, it was always bound to be this way, and in the end, it was, you know, going to be one of those races, pass or be passed, and that's kind of how it ended up. You know, just those that kind of can master the kind of fine balance of risk versus reward, you know, aggression and caution. We're always going to come out on top, and in the end, we saw it. Justin was very, very cautious to begin with. He was not making the move. He made the moves at the right time, and that's why he's won this race. He made the moves at the right time, didn't take any unnecessary risk when he was in P2. And he's taken a very thoroughly deserved victory.
You know, I'm just looking at the standings now. I'm looking at the wrong ones. That won't help, will it?
No.
I was like, oh, they've already updated it. No, they haven't. But, you know, Justin, 11 points, so that puts him on 36. It's thrown him back into the top 10, where he probably belongs. It's still a fair shot away from Rens, but if you were Rens right now, would you be ruining mistakes?
I'm not sure it's mistakes, it's just the way the race has gone for him. It was always, you know, a battle to put yourself in the right position. You could argue third was a good position to be in. It just couldn't quite get the moves done. Obviously, you know, he obviously had to take a very tight line into Stowe corner to try and get past Gabor and Justin. Justin, I think, was always, you know, bound to just sweep around the outside. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those for Rens. It's what could have been. It could be what could have been come the end of this season. Or come the end of the season, we could be saying those 15 points in Silverstone were crucial. It's all left plus and maybes at the moment. At the end of the day, you know, he's got a 15-point gap over Joe Murphy now. He's got a 21-point gap over Cameron Dowds. He's looked consistent all season. You know, he's made one in Kota. Okay, he was 7th in Singapore. But, you know, he was 2nd again in Las Vegas. You know, he's on the podium again here in Silverstone. He's getting a run of results going, which is, you know, it's consistency. So he's proven, you know, over the 4 races he's done, that he's going to be at the front consistently. So, you know, momentum's, you know, in the right direction for him, and I think he's in a very good position to certainly take this tar fight at the very least to the final day. Is Rens Thomason. I'd say so far out of all the drivers, as a whole package, he's looked the best so far this season.
So, and this is meant as no disrespect to Justin at all, but it looks like the stat of the winner of the Silverstone Grand Prix is continued to not winning the championship. It might continue.
Who knows? Maybe this time's gonna be the catalyst for an almighty title charge. You never know, do you?
You never know. And you know yourself. Not winning here is difficult. A lot of people want to win at Silverstone, don't they? It's obviously you've won in other leagues, but when it comes to console tier 1 or Xbox tier 1, it's a scalp that a lot of drivers want. Even if they win the title, they want the Silverstone one on there as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's one that I was never able to get. I only really had, I'd say, 3 proper chances at it. One I lost down a last lap battle in season 5. Season 6, I did get I did have that video saved that we were talking about. In the end, I made a lot of other drivers. We came in as normal, lap 10 for our normal pit stops, and it rained a couple laps later. So those that had gambled and stayed out were beneficiary of that. But yeah, it's such a historic race. Silverstone, obviously one that all the drivers would want to win, especially those in Great Britain, with British nationality or whatever. There's that extra kind of motivation to win your home Grand Prix, which just so happens to be one of the most historic and famous tracks in the world. It's just a weird stat. Think about that. Whoever has won the British Grand Prix has never gone on to win the championship. And
I wonder if that's the same with the PC side of things as well. I'm gonna delve into this after
there
as well.
There you go. Yeah, you can report back in Netherlands next week.
Next week.
Oh dear.
I'll have to come up with some other crazy stat in Netherlands, but we're halfway through. I can ask you the same question as I asked at the second round of the season. Well, it was technically the beginning, but who's going to win the title? Who's going to do it?
Who is going to do it? Well, look, I did mention it literally a few moments ago. To me, so far, a lot can change. Momentum can swing, but right now, for me personally, for what I've seen, all eyes do point towards Rens Thomason, for me personally. Again, I'll say it again. He's looked quick all season. His qualifying is there. He's up on the front couple rows. Consistently. He's winning races. He's getting podiums. And he's been the only driver to really do that this season consistently. But I think he is literally going to be the only driver, along with Gabor, who I think could be the other threat as well for this championship. They're the only 2 drivers with 3 podiums this season. They all have, Gabor doesn't have a race victory to his name. Rens Thomason does. So I'm going to say Rens Thomason. I wouldn't be surprised if Gabor does it as well. Joe Murphy might still have a say. I just think Cameron Downs needs to iron out the consistency as of this moment in time. Because we've done 5 rounds and he's had 3 non-points finishes. It's not championship form. There's unfortunately no other way of putting it. But the good news is for Cameron Downs, he does have still a few rounds to iron it out. And with the way WR is, if he does get a run going, he might put himself in position. But yeah, that's a long answer of it. In short, I'm gonna go with Rens Thomason to win this championship. I also wouldn't be surprised if Gabor does it as well.
Yeah, 2 interesting names there for the championship, and a lot of people probably would have put Cameron Downs and Joe Murphy as the ones to watch, or maybe even thrown Gabor in there as well. I think everyone knows Rens was quick. I don't know if they thought he was going to have the consistency to go with it, and at the moment, the 3 rounds he's had, he's done it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And that's all that will be written about in the history books.
Let me throw it back at you. Who do you think's going to win?
You know
Who's
what?
your pick?
I want to do a little bit of stats on this. I want to go back and have a little and just see, you know, what the stats say with how, you know, drivers who, you know, possibly should have won a title. I look at season 16 when Liam Bowman won here at Silverstone. He was in a title fight for it as well. Sky there was as well. Axe F1 wasn't. Square and Shadow both were. Obviously was, and Pinecone was, and Snezzy Evening back in season 6 when you won the title wasn't in the title fight. So, you know, when you look at it down that way from just one track, you know, Ren's finished 3rd tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with that podium again, that certainly helps him. It's extended a little bit, and that's what you need to do when you're going to want to win a title. So at the moment, I'd probably sit with Ren's.
There you go.
Bit boring from the both of us, I know, but
yeah, the drive that leads the way, that has, you know, won the most races, had the most podiums, is looking like the most consistent, is our pick for the championship. Who'd have thunk it, eh?
But he hasn't had a pole position. He hasn't.
True.
You know,
but he's been up there. He's been on the front, front couple rows. You know, he's been where he needs to be to make these sort of results happen. He's not leaving himself with the work to do. So
maybe, and you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe, like you mentioned, and if it happens, I will definitely want lottery numbers from you. But Justin, maybe this is a catalyst for Justin. Maybe it's what he needs. But who knows?
Yeah,
who knows?
Still leading in range, far from mathematically or logically out of it. He just needs to run together. He needs, you know, drivers that are kind of in Justin's position now, or, you know, say, you know, 30 or 40 points off now. If they get a run together, they're in this. But they need to get a run together. They'll need to do it from next week in Netherlands. It's one of those. You know, obviously Ren's and, you know, Joe Murphy's been consistent throughout this entire season. You know, it was only until last week where he picked up his first podium of the season for Joe Murphy. But, you know, if you get a good run going of wins and podiums from now, you'll catapult yourself right into this championship.
We will have to wait and see. But for 2024, we have 2 more races. And as you, Leopard, quite rightly mentioned, there's Netherlands next week. The Zandvoort Grand Prix is going to be another tight, twisty affair with not many overtaking opportunities. But these guys will definitely put up the best that they can. And then Hungary to round out 2024. And what a way to do it as well. And maybe, who knows, we'll get some more wet weather. Now I've jinxed it, we probably will be dry throughout the remainder of the season. But with 2 rounds remaining, I can't wait. 2 rounds remaining of the year, not the season, of the year, because once this year is done and dusted in WOR, we have Canada, Austria and Sao Paulo, and they are going to be absolutely feisty, carnage. Everyone will be up for it, and you never know, we might get a Wall of Champions champion. Whoever knows. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Leopard, thank you for so much for joining alongside me again for another WOR chaotic masterclass, I suppose you could call it, from the guys out here in Console Tier 1. But for now, we will catch you in the next one.